Team, and welcome back to another episode of the RX Debrief, the unfiltered platform where we all talk about is fitness. So,
yeah.
Oh, bro, I don't know what happened there. Oh well. Anyways,
Yeah.
How are we, guys? How are we today?
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
I'm all good.
How are you
I got a
guys?
question for you guys.
Already?
Yeah.
Go on then.
What'd you have for breakfast? Mo?
Ooh, I had overnight oats
Yeah.
and a boiled egg.
That's a classic Mo.
It is.
Yeah. That's a classic name. Yeah.
What did you have,
How about
Kenny?
bro?
Do you know what? I had to switch it up because I've run out of protein and stuff. So I just had a
You want
bowl
that
of
peasant food?
yeah.
You want that peasant
Just
food?
had a bowl of muesli and
Water or milk?
Oh no, I had milk. Just bowl of muesli, and then I had a smoothie as well. So
Nice.
that was alright. What about you, bro?
Bro, I have this every day. Just six eggs.
6 eggs.
That's it.
Boiled.
Boiled it. Yeah, because I came into the gym real early.
That's not what I saw on your Insta
Six
last night, bro.
yeah.
Oh, this is the sweet.
Oh, yeah.
That was the Kit Kat.
Mate, producer Ben messaged me and he was like, "What kind of monster eats chocolate like that?" Because I had it pointed up like this.
That's not how you eat a Kit Kat.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I done
well.
it for the
No, but
gram,
anyways.
really. Done it for the gram, really.
How are you feeling after the weekend?
Uh,
Big weekend. Shout out to CrossFit Remuera for an epic comp.
Yeah.
Metcon Madness was banger, and
Yeah.
yeah,
That
you
was
guys
awesome.
smashed it.
It was such a fun weekend. Like my legs were blowing on Sunday, but then Monday was just recovery from there onwards. But man, the events were real cool, and real fun. Especially
Yeah,
WOD
good
4.
events,
WOD
yeah.
4 was hilarious.
Mate,
Like-
you should have seen this dude's leg before WOD 4. So WOD 4 was like you sprint, run a sled, and then finish off with a little run,
Yeah.
right? This dude walking to the event was like, oh, my quad's cramping, oh no. And we look at it, and it's just like, got dents
It's got like
in
a
it.
hole.
It's
It's got like a hole in my
yeah,
thigh.
it was like, oh, mate, you got to go for a sprint soon. Like,
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, our legs are gonna cramp up after this. Looking at me, my legs are already cramped. Haven't even started. I'm like, fuck, man.
Seeing the big guy run.
Yeah.
Nah, there were some bloody good videos of that, though.
That
some
was
funny events.
If anyone wants to see anything funny, Levi's got the classic video after the sled
yeah,
push
yeah,
and the
yeah.
run after. Wow.
Yeah.
Got to watch it. It's,
yes,
it's
it
funny.
is.
It's good.
Yeah, it's crack up.
But yeah, shout out to CrossFit Remuera for an awesome weekend. I'm pretty sure everyone enjoyed it. I especially did from a spectator point of view.
Yeah, no, I
But
agree.
yeah.
Oh, we're going to introduce our guest today. So the grind never stops for the bro. He is a coach at the Arena in New Lynn, I think is where it is. And he's an incredible athlete, got an amazing mindset. He's going to tell us some stories about his sporting history. He's actually got some real good ones, and we're going to learn a few things about him. So introducing Houston Nuima.
Yeah.
Hey, boy.
What's up, bro?
Welcome, bro.
What's up, team?
How you, brother?
Yeah, good.
good?
You alright, bro?
Oh, yes.
Wait, first things first though, Houston. What did you have for breakfast?
You want me to be honest?
Go on.
Nothing.
Oh,
Nothing.
I know. I guess it's kind of like comp day, like when you don't know what to eat.
the nerves.
I guess today I was a bit nervous. I don't know.
I'm not going to lie. I thought he was going to go like for Macca's or something.
Yeah.
Do you want me to lie or not?
But yeah, nothing. So
Yeah.
not a good start.
It's all right.
alright.
Just
You
settle
hungry,
in.
bro?
After this, I think I will be. I think the nerves are getting to me a little bit more, but nah, we'll get.
It's all
we'll
good,
get-
bro.
Right.
It's all good.
I've actually got a question for you,
Yeah.
and it's actually from someone who messaged me.
Yeah.
They're like, you got to ask him this. I was like, okay. Can you hit him up about always entering intermediate when he's clearly RX?
Oh.
That's a little
Someone's
thick.
bringing some heat.
All right, cool. You know what? That's quite funny that you bring that up. because That's not the first time I've heard that. So for me personally, gosh, we're going straight
Straight
in.
in. It's all right. We're
Just
here.
getting at you.
I think personally, as an athlete, you got to have some sort of self-awareness.
Yeah.
So for myself, I can do RX movements.
Yeah.
But in terms as an RX as a whole athlete, gas tank,
Yeah.
strength, gymnastics, all that kind of stuff. For me personally, I'm not quite there.
Yeah.
So, and that took me a bit of time to actually like analyze that, and I had to make a decision. Okay, do I kind of compete with my ego, or take a step back and be like, okay, where am I really at? Like, because only you should know, and your coaches should know where you're really at.
Yep.
So sorry to all those who think about
No, mate, but I totally agree with you,
yeah.
mate. Because like we did our first RX, the Midcom was our first RX one for
Like
the
proper
year,
RX
proper
thing,
RX
yeah.
for the year, and like we all know that, as you were saying, like I know how to do all of it, but man, like I don't think it was East Tamaki. It might have been the Fit Mums.
Yeah.
Well, she did 30 meters unbroken on the handstand walk after doing 30
I
snatches
think it was
at like
6'4".
a heavy weight,
Yeah.
something like that, you know. And it's like, yeah, I can handstand walk, but I can't do 30 meters unbroken after doing 70-kilo hang snatches like for multiple reps. So no, I totally know what you mean.
And it's quite funny because like my first individual comp was H-Town last year,
Yeah.
and it was my first intermediate comp. And okay, I won, but then just because
Good
I
work.
won,
Yeah.
just 'cause
Claim
I,
that.
Yeah.
I won one comp doesn't necessarily mean okay, I'm RX now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because that's only a result.
It's a
of,
weekend.
Yeah, and of only like a small bunch of athletes, and then so obviously. One comp doesn't define myself or where I'm at, but in some way, like I said, like you kind of really have to know
Yeah.
where you are.
I feel
as
like
an
that's the
athlete.
pressure, is like you do, like you said, you won a comp, and then everyone's like, well,
Well, you're RX
he's
now.
obviously RX
Yeah.
now. Like he's come first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the
But then,
hardest
yeah,
part
I see what
probably
you're
is you like your ego, like you said, but then people
Yeah.
on the sideline going, "Oh, he shouldn't be in
Yeah,
this," and
yeah,
and
100%.
then you're worrying about all that.
And
like,
trust
what you're
me,
thinking.
like
yeah.
my competitiveness wants to be an RX. Like,
Yeah.
I,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
Yeah.
for me, like if we went head to head, like I would like take that challenge on no matter what.
Yeah.
But that doesn't always work.
Yeah,
like it's not
yeah.
the smartest thing, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
and
yeah.
longevity wise, RX was the plan.
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
2020.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I guess 2021, and we'll get there later.
Yeah. No, good, bro.
But yeah.
Awesome. Do you want to know? So
Yeah, I do
call
want to
them
know
out,
who
call
that
them
is.
out.
So this person, they said, haha, tell them it was Ducky. And then they said, nah, all good. You can tell them it was me. It was Madeline.
Oh, okay.
She messaged me. She was like, you got to ask me
Yeah.
this question.
Cheeky.
I do appreciate.
Because she said it was a pet peeve of hers or something.
Really?
Yeah, which she goes, you can say it was me. I think he knows it's a pet peeve of
Yeah,
mine.
yeah,
Yeah.
Nah, like I appreciate that, especially coming from like Madeline, like the level of athlete that she is.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to kind of have those athletes see you
Yeah,
and see
yeah.
your potential.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
And I will be competing at that level. But like I said, I had to go through a season of finding myself as an athlete and my where I stand
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. And intermediate was just the way where I was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
And I found I've gone through that season now.
Yeah.
And RX is the next step. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
What a
That's
laugh, eh?
awesome.
Just like bloody, go to sanctionals, man.
Yeah.
yeah, well that's
leave
it.
us
Like,
alone.
see, like little steps like that, like
Yeah.
internationals next after, like because for me RX New Zealand isn't necessarily the level that I want to like
Yeah.
be at.
Don't
long
limit
term.
yourself to
Yeah,
just that,
yeah.
eh?
Like I mean,
Yeah.
there are levels after New Zealand is international, like Madeline where she is
Yeah,
now
yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. So but yeah, I appreciate that, Madeline. I'll take that as a compliment.
So now that we know that, bro, I just want for everyone that's watching or live or anything, just tell us a little about yourself.
Rewind it a bit.
Okay, cool. Where do you want me to
Anyway,
start?
like
So
where
where
you
you grew
from?
up?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Sport
How
and
you got
history,
into it?
all that kind of thing.
We heard you're a bit of a dancer, bro.
Yeah,
Oh,
Hey,
now
I've
you're-
seen your
you know
Instagram, bro. I've seen your stories.
Now you're going way back.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, trust me. I think back in that era, in the dancing era, it was basically all about our hair, man. And honestly,
Yeah.
okay, like embarrassing. Like I used to straighten my hair and stuff. Now I just shaved it because that's just
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
gone
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But yeah, like dancing days, that was back in high school. So I went to Carlson Boys.
Oh,
Kelly
Yep,
Block,
yep,
eh?
Kelly
Yeah.
Kelly
Block.
Block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was either back then rugby or dancing for myself. And for me, rugby was always something that I grew up with, playing in intermediate and stuff like that. So I just decided to go dancing. It was just something new, something fresh for me. It was like I was learning something as well.
Yeah.
We did quite well. Our dance crew was Unison Dance Crew. We won back in 2010 the nationals.
Yeah.
So you guys know of like the Palace and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So we versed them one year in Melbourne at Battlegrounds 2009.
Right.
And we were in the same grade, and they ended up winning. We came third, but like was when they had just started.
Yeah.
So seeing their growth is pretty cool as well. And
Yeah.
we're there, like I think they just performed at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paris and all of
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So I mean, big ups to her.
Oh,
Like,
did they?
Yeah, bro.
Holy.
Paris Goebel, you need to get on.
Yeah, no, I know she. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, she's always in. All her crews always in like Justin Bieber's
Yeah,
videos
yeah.
and stuff.
Justin
Yeah,
Bieber.
Yeah.
She's done
That's-
amazing things for the dance community and like for New Zealand. And like,
Absolutely.
back then, she was not as big as she is like that she is now.
Yeah.
But that just proves like consistency and hard work and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But going back to like dancing and stuff for us, like we used to like after school like train every day.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy. Like at Leonard Primary School. So those in Calston will know where that.
Now we're going way.
Yeah.
That was our studio. So we like
Wow.
we had no money back like
Yeah.
you know, and all that kind of stuff, and we just loved to dance. So we used to practice after school on the field and all that kind of stuff. And I think the more I look back at it, that actually built a work ethic in some way.
Yeah, hard.
Because we didn't see it. We had to go to practice. Like we wanted to practice and stuff like that, and that was our passion back then. My passion back then was just dance, and it was kind of to keep me at school as well. Wouldn't have been doing anything. But going into a little bit deeper into that story, 2010 we ended up winning, right, nationals, and then that takes you to LA
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
I've
Vegas,
seen
sorry,
it.
Vegas, wherever
I've
the
seen
world
it.
stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, cool. We had our spot secured. We were training and stuff like that. And pretty much that was probably the first time that I experienced some sort of failure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't end up going.
Wow.
What
And
happened?
yeah, so it was for multiple reasons. A lot of it was financially, like you know, we just
okay.
couldn't seem to get it together and
Yep.
all that kind of stuff. But we didn't find out till the night before actually that we weren't going.
Oh,
Hey.
Yeah,
that's harsh.
so we had our stuff all packed and all that kind of stuff.
And everyone's pumped and
Yeah, we were pumped
Yeah.
and we were ready, and like because we went for a roller coaster of like, are we going? Are we not going? Do we have
Yeah.
the money? Da da da.
And all the training too.
All the training and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and yeah, we were trying every way to try and get there, and especially as like young kids, like we didn't, you know, all we wanted to do was just go there and dance and be on that world stage and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, and we didn't end up going, and that was a heartbreak, and going through that, looking back, is like it really, I don't know, built some. What do you call it? Some character, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At
Yep.
that young of age. But yeah, that was looking back, built a lot of work ethic, but also how to kind of carry yourself after something like disappointing like that. you know?
Yeah.
So what did you do after that? Like, did you
So we
carry
j-
on dancing?
Yeah,
Move
so
on?
that, if anything, I think they actually like split our crew a little bit because
Yeah.
we were just, I don't know, but we basically split. We tried to like dance one more year. We made it to nationals in 2011, but didn't quite make the world stage again. And then after that, I think only one of us from that crew is dancing still to this day. So the rest of us kind of went our own way, and that was the end of that chapter. But looking back at it, it was a lot of life lessons.
Yeah.
you know, looking
And at
back.
a young age too.
Yeah, at a young age, and but yeah, that was that season. So
Yeah.
don't ask me to dance now, though.
Yeah.
They'll be
Oh,
like, "Are you
man.
sure you dance?"
Oh man.
yeah,
so I guess that gives. So do they give you a positive, more like seeing the positives out of stuff more? Because like we were just talking before the start of that, you've got an injury right now.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I do have an injury. I just come out of surgery about three weeks ago.
Yep.
But yeah, before I dive into that story, I guess seeing the positive out of that at a young age, I didn't. But now, obviously, as life continues, I can kind of look back and be like, actually, you know, I've learned from that and how to deal with this. And I actually dealt with this situation better now because I went through that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now here I am today, fresh out of surgery and all that kind of stuff. I actually tore my pec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So
Last.
how did you do it?
Yeah.
Just benching a measly 150, something like that, eh?
So basically, we had just finished Tutor. We had just finished Tutor, and I had just finished. So I took a week off because Tutor was a good one. It was a pretty hard training camp with me and my mate Luke. And end of the week, me and my mate Henare, he's a bit of a lifter.
Yep.
And he was like, we should bench. And I was like, yeah, sweet, let's go. I'm fresh. 1 week of rest.
Yeah, like a rest.
Obviously
Clearly,
not.
bro.
I've eaten my senzu beans. Yeah. I'm good to go.
And I hadn't actually benched in like a couple months. So I was like, because before CrossFit, I used to do a lot of bodybuilding stuff in terms of like training and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, sweet, muscle memory, whatever. And it was good. And I guess we went up to a heavy max. And it was, we got up to like 150. Just tap myself on the back. Cool. No injury then. All right. So it's cool. We went up to 150. We got one rep. And then we're like, okay, we'll drop set it, which is a normal thing to do in bodybuilding training. So we drop set it back down to 100 and just ripped it out.
Yeah.
He got 15 reps or 15, 16 reps. Obviously, I was like, okay, sweet. Like we actually
competitive
nature. He was quite competitive as well. Like he is, and like even at work, because I do drainage as well, we'll always like fight over who's going to take the shovel. So, anyways, that competitiveness went into the bench, and he got 16 reps or whatever. And then I was like, okay, sweet, I'll go. So I was just benching, and I felt fine. Like there was no struggle or anything like. Well, it was, but nothing like intense.
Light like a feather, right?
On the 14th rep, it just went.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just tore, and I just felt a pop, and then sat up, and I was like, wow, shucks, something's going wrong. But yeah, so it wasn't like a fight, and like had to keep pushing kind of rep. It was just a pop.
Yeah.
On the 14th one. So, and then had to go and get surgery and.
And so how long's your recovery on that?
So recovery wise is about 4 to 6 months.
Damn.
Yeah. But so if we go a little bit deeper into that story, like the interesting thing was, the injury kind of sucked and stuff like that. But I think it was the result of it. So I went and saw the surgeon and stuff like that, and they we had an MRI scan and all that kind of stuff. Had all the tests done, and he actually read it back that it wasn't fixable.
Yeah,
wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so like obviously at that moment when he told me, I sat there, I was like, damn, it's not fixable. Like, because I want to compete and whatever.
Must have heard of it.
Yeah, just
that sort of thing.
Was that like that feeling of when you didn't make it, you guys had packed all your bags?
Yeah.
And then like were you sitting at the doctor's office just like, he can't fix it. What am I gonna do?
Yeah, like it was a range of emotions and stuff like that. And basically when he told me that, he said, well, you have a choice. We can either go in and have surgery and just check if it's fixable or not. If it's not fixable, then you'll just have a scar. If it is fixable, then we'll do it. Or you can just not do it just flank it and just not do the surgery. For me, being young, I was just like, oh, you know what? I need to go find out. Find out what this is. And so that was a pretty big couple months in terms of just wondering if it's going to be fixed or not. I did end up just training, just be like, okay, if it's not fixable, I'll just start rehabbing anyway.
Wow.
So we went back to training and stuff like that. But the difference between those two situations in terms of dancing and not making it then and dealing with that failure to this emotional ride in terms of whether it's not fixable or not, I do have to like put it down to my faith.
Right.
Which is a big part of who I am and what I do and stuff like that. And in saying that, so when we heard the results, I immediately reached out to close mates of mine and stuff like that, and we all started like praying and all that kind of stuff, and did all the stuff in terms of walking with our faith and stuff like that.
But I want you to go more into
That's
that.
awesome.
Touch on stuff on it.
Yeah. So like I said, like I guess that's the importance of having a strong support system or strong friends and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, just carry on.
Carry on, bro.
And basically I just reached out to them and said, hey, look, this is a situation. This injury is actually a 1% chance of ever happening based off the results of the MRI scan. They say that's not fixable, but on this date, we're going into surgery, and whether it's fixable or not, we'll just let them know. And they just were like, okay, sweet, like, we believe in a God that heals and all that kind of stuff. And so we just started praying and fasting together. And to me, like, this was kind of like my very first time really
Seeking help?
Yes, not necessarily seeking help, but really trusting and
Your faith.
Trusting and putting weight on my faith.
Wow.
You know, really.
I got goosebumps. That's,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and really just kind of be like, okay, like you say that you're this and that, and like for me personally, you know, and like this is the moment, Lord, that like I need you to pull through. And I had to come to terms in those couple months. I had to come to terms whether he does or not. Will I still believe, you know, and stuff like that. And that was a big question that I was going through. And anyways, we ended up praying all that kind of stuff and seeking wisdom in His Word. And pretty much we went into surgery and didn't know what was going to happen. I was a little bit nervous. And I remember a moment before they knocked me out or whatever, you know, just breathe all that stuff.
Yep.
I just like took a deep breath. And then all I remember like hearing myself was just, he asked me, do you trust me? And I just said, I just had to take a breather. I said, I trust you. Yep. And then they rolled me into the surgery room, gassed me out. I woke up a little bit dazed and I looked straight away to the nurse and I was just like, did they fix me? Yeah. And she was, oh, I'm not too sure. She looked at the paper. She goes, oh, PEC repaired, but I'm not too sure what that means. And so I fell back asleep, woke up. They rolled me into the room and my partner was there. Yeah. And the surgeon said it was fixed. And I instantly, like, I don't know, in that moment, I instantly just felt loved, felt His grace, and I just felt a moment of joy that, like, that He is, you know, he is who He says He is. But that was a massive part. And I think despite the injury, what I learned from that for me personally in my own personal journey is to actually lean more into His Word and actually trusting who He says He is. Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. That's
I'm
awesome.
crying because just that moment I could feel. Like, legit, like you laying there going, and He says, do you trust me? It's like, I've been in that place before where you feel so vulnerable and you need help. Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, and I remember even before this injury, training for tutor and stuff like that, I remember I was like, because I had injured my knee, so that's why I didn't do tribal wars and stuff like that. Yeah. And so I was coming back from an injury already. Tutor was like, yeah, sweet, come back home. And then now, times, bro. And I was like, sweet, cool. And then when I obviously did this injury, but before that, I was like, you know, just in my own space, and I was just like, look, if I wasn't a CrossFit athlete, right? If you took that away from me, or if you took my physical ability, would I still be who I am? You know what I mean? As a person and all this kind of stuff, would I still treat people and all that kind of stuff? And you know, I was like, yeah, I will. Like, you know,
I'm Houston.
I will. Me. And then when I injured myself, that was the tester to actually, okay, for me personally, like, okay, now you can't compete. Yeah. Now you can't train properly. Now you're he's kind of taken that away from me. Let's see if you really truly meant what you said, you know?
He tested you, eh?
Yeah, in some way. And also he tested me, but in some way he also showed who he was to me. And I think that's the moral of that story in terms of this injury. Like, yes, cool, we had Metcon comp. So I was a coach then instead of athlete, which is quite nice. Yeah. But the multiple people that I interacted with asked, oh, do you have FOMO? Like, do you feel like you're missing out? But I could honestly say, like, because I know that's a normal thing for athletes, like, wow, I feel like I just want to be out there, stuff like that. Yeah. But I could honestly say, like, I was at peace. Like, I made peace with me. Okay, cool, I'm not going to compete this year. You know, if that's it. Because I guess the bigger thing is that he healed me in some way. You know what I mean? And so I had peace. Like, this whole day, I was like, oh, no. You know, I had a moment before coming to Mekon, shucks, I'm not competing. But then I had to remind myself, like, it's okay. Like, you know, you will get there. You will compete again. For now, this is your season. Remember what you just went through and be grateful for that. And so I made peace with that. And but like, just answering those questions, it almost felt like when people, oh, you must be like feeling like you're missing out. And when I said, nah, like, I don't, like, in some way they would be like, whatever, like, you know, like,
I suppose you're sort of in amongst it, being a coach in that.
Like,
you're in there, do you know what I mean?
But also,
the same buzz, but you're still part of it, kind of thing. So
I think, like, just taking what you've said, I feel like he's testing your coaching abilities now. He's taking 100%, he's taking you down another path where you've been the athlete and the coach.
100%.
And that, like, me, you just saying that, Houston, I'm just like, wow, I can already see those coaching abilities come through, and you being happy for your athletes doing what they're doing.
I was so proud of them. Right? Like, honestly, the arena, like, I was so proud of our crews, especially the beginners. The way that they work, like, so we, after nearly every ward that they'll go through, most of them were like AMRAPs, right? And like I just remember going into like one of the wards, and I looked at the team. I go, "It's an AMRAP, right?" And they're like, "Yeah." I say, "What do we do in the last 30 seconds?" And like they all looked at me like, "We hold on," and like seeing that from a coaching, and then like seeing it in person, like seeing them hold on for those like just like last like whatever reps, like 10 seconds, and they're like already like dying, like but they hold on and fight. Seeing that as a coach was just like something different that I think I would have missed if I was competing. And like seeing them really just, I don't know, just a switch in their mindset as well was real cool to be a part of. So in some way I didn't miss out. But obviously, being an athlete and being a coach is a little bit different. But I'm super proud of our beginners.
You must inspire them. I messaged you the other day because like I saw his story, and man, there must have been like 10 shares of this thing from different people, just like saying how amazing you are. And I was just like, man, this dude must inspire so many people in your community.
That's awesome.
Because look at all these people that are sharing like the fact
movement.
that you're coming onto the show. Before we carry on.
Timer went off.
You're the timer go off.
Yeah.
It's got the challenge.
All right. So, what is it this time? Is it hold?
Yeah.
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 As a bicep hold.
Yep.
Make it that kettlebell bicep hold.
Paper, scissors, rock.
Yep. Paper scissors rock. Ready?
Okay.
Paper scissors rock.
Oh.
Paper scissors rock.
Oh.
Paper scissors. Mo!
Hey, that's Mo's
I've never seen Mo do a challenge.
Do you know what? I'm so happy it's Mo.
How long for? We'll just say next effort.
Just next effort. Try hit a minute or something, Mo.
Where?
Yeah.
Just, in the corner. Off
Just
you
go there.
No.
So you go like this. Hold it out like this. Yeah.
Work those guns.
There you go.
There you go.
Hold it.
Angles?
All right.
Perfect.
All right. We'll start this up again. And
So moving on, bro. Like, we hear that you had an NFL dream.
Yeah.
Made your way over
tell
to
us
the
about
States
that.
and that.
Right.
Yeah, tell us about that,
before
man.
I met you, bro, I had a mate who knew you, and he would always tell me, like, he's from Kelston.
Ellery, right?
Ellery.
He was a real
Ellery.
good mate of mine back in primary.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
And he was like,
Come on, Mo, hold it.
Yeah, hold it.
Hold on. Yeah. But yeah, and he was just like, bro, my mate Houston, bro, he's like, he plays American football for New Zealand, and he's gone to America, and I was like, fuck, like, I didn't even know we played it here.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, when did that happen?
So,
Like, how did that happen?
Tell us all about that.
Yeah, so I started playing back.
I'm sorry.
Come on, you're interrupting us, Mo.
Nah, all good. That was good effort. Well done, mate. So I started playing after dancing, basically.
Yeah.
And, like, obviously just had a mate there, Jake. He introduced me to the sport. But back then, one of the main reasons why I didn't play rugby, if I'm being honest and vulnerable, like, is because we couldn't afford boots.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was like a main reason why I chose dancing, just because it was cheaper. I guess.
Yeah.
So that story continued on with football. So in football, I wanted to play football, but I didn't have any boots. So my mate Jake actually gave me boots, and that's when I started playing football, American football here. And it was cool. We played a couple seasons, and then in 2015. Me and my mate Lonnie, who's actually still over in the States, he's actually doing really well. Yeah, he plays for Cows, Bears, D1. D1 college. So those who know football will know that college, and he's doing amazing. But we had an opportunity to go play in Texas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In the international.
Don't tell me you're playing in Houston.
Yeah.
Houston and Houston.
One of the chances, right?
So good.
So
good.
yeah, I know. So we and like his name's Lonnie, and like I don't know, like they have something about Lone Star or something, but it's spelled the same as his name. So it was like real weird when we like got introduced to like their like locals and stuff, like they would always like say something like that.
Yeah.
But we went there and we had an opportunity to play in the international team where the world team would verse the USA team.
Yep.
Because it's their sport and stuff. And basically we went over there, and the first.
You're on Wilds. You're on the Wilds team.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we went over
Wow.
and the training camp there for a week, and then played USA there. And that was a cool experience. And basically that just kind of kicked off. We played at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was huge. AT&T. It was massive, man. Like, it was a experience. I remember when I had that dream of football, and I was like, nah, this is my golden ticket. Like, I'm going all in. And I did. I went all in. I was just like, I'm going to play in America one day, like, and all that kind of stuff. I just didn't know it was going to be
Just once.
Yeah, I didn't know it was going to be the Dallas Cowboys Stadium
Wow.
for the very first game in the States. So that was cool. And we played there. And then from that, I had an opportunity to go and play junior college in San Fran.
Yep.
Yeah.
49ers.
No.
Oh.
So NFL is like professional, yeah? So it's
okay.
like the CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
And then you have your college levels, D1, D2, D3, and then junior college.
Yeah.
Okay.
So junior college is usually the best route for international students in terms of, because we don't have film here. And like they don't really want to watch film in terms of that competition.
Yeah.
They need film versus USA and all that kind of stuff. So going into junior college, that was the route. But yeah, so basically that's the route that we both took, me and Lone. But that was a whole story in itself too. Like it was my dream. I gave up a lot here to go and chase that.
Yeah.
Before that, I was running like a small fitness business called Future Fit, and I was doing really well. Like. And yeah, great people. And it's funny that those people in Future Fit back in those days, before I moved over to America, are still come to the arena today.
Wow.
So I know it's
So
awesome. Like that to me, like as I look back, I was like, man, like they're still with like, you know, a part of my story in some way. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, but we went over to America, and it was just everything that I wasn't prepared for, and I guess that taught me the importance of preparation.
Yeah.
Because the whole lifestyle was different. Everything I knew, I flew over there and everything was different.
Yeah. What do you mean in terms of?
Like lifestyle?
Lifestyle was different. So for me, I was working I was a full-time like worker in terms of in Future Fit and stuff like that. So I was working every day, money was coming in, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And when you go over there, you're back to student life, which
I see.
and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and it was almost like all this money, especially like the USA college system, whatever, they smash international students.
Yeah.
Like you have to pay more.
And like your fees and stuff, like you just get hammered. Yeah. So like, because they didn't care, like whatever, you're international, you know, you must have money if you're coming over.
Yeah.
So yes, and like the lifestyle was just different to what I was used to, and I think that period of my life really tested my character again, and trying to.
Was this season 3?
Pretty whatever.
I'm counting the season.
Yeah, whatever season it was.
Yeah.
It taught me a lot. Like, I don't know. I just got tested a lot, and in ways where, it was out of character for myself. You know, typical American football lifestyle. Like, you know, there's a lot of partying and all that kind of stuff, and you know, like. The struggle of like money and stuff for international students and all that kind of stuff was real. So it was like how was I gonna live? And then I got to pass school, and then it was football. So it was everything. And then like the reason why I went over there it was like the third priority. You know what I mean? So because you have to adjust the lifestyle.
Live, study, then
and then study, because if you don't study, then you don't play.
You don't play.
And all that kind of, and like studying was fine. Like it was just took a lot of time and like a lot of effort and all that kind of stuff. But football became like not the priority, but that's why I was there. And obviously, you got to sacrifice, you know, for your work and stuff like that. But anyways, going through that whole experience and understanding, man. But for me, I hung in there because that's just the way that I'll do something. You know what I mean? Like if I was to go, I just wouldn't give up. And it's not that I shouldn't have give up, but I should have come home a lot earlier.
How long were you there for?
For about a year and a half. Year and a half, 2 years.
Gave it a good nudge.
Well,
yeah.
It's not like you're in denial, but you, like you just said, you should have come home earlier.
Yeah, and it's not because I wasn't a good enough athlete or anything like that. But then again, trust, they have amazing athletes there. So, and like you go over there and you're like learning like a different like language, because if, I don't know if you ever watch American football, but each team has a different terminology. So how they call their plays and then how they run their plays and all that kind of, so you had to learn that. And compared
on top of your study and all of that.
So compared to New Zealand, like we just have like a playbook, like 5 plays. You know what I mean? Just run it down the middle, run it out, whatever, pass, whatever.
They've probably been doing this their whole life too. Like the people that you're playing have been involved in this their whole life. Like us with rugby, like
100%.
Kiwis with rugby.
The only difference is that their knowledge of the game was like way higher. You know what I mean? So they could play better. But just basically, where was I?
Going. No, you interrupted. It was the studying and the learning the plays.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So basically, like having to like deal with all that kind of stuff, it put a lot of stress and stuff like that. Yeah, and like I said, that's right. I should have come home earlier, but for me myself, it's like, no, I've given up so much. I'm not, and which is the right attitude to have. But then again, it comes again like self-awareness and who you want to be. You have to know, okay, to let go and to like, you know, take a step back or to keep pressing on. I know that we have like this kind of mindset, especially in CrossFit, like we just keep going until the wheels fall off, which is like a strong mindset to have in particular situations. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
You have to be able to, I don't really like using this word, but realistic in terms of, you know, who you actually want to be and where you actually want to go. But yeah, at the end of that football season, basically like I was, I'm gonna be very vulnerable right now. So basically, like I was, living the lifestyle that I wasn't supposed to, which was opposite to who I am as a person and what I set my foundation on, which is my faith. And like, you know, spending time with the wrong crowd and
partying and whatnot,
and just like getting into like fights and stuff like that. It just wasn't me. You know what I mean? And I just remember after one incident, we got into a little bit of like a
kerfuffle.
There it is. And the guy that we ended up confronting or whatever, we went back home and my mate goes, hey, like I forget that I was in America, right? He goes, hey, like that guy that you know you had to confront him with whatever, he actually pulled a gun out on one of our mates like 2 weeks before or something, over like a basketball game or something. And I was just like, at that moment, I instantly knew that my actions were potentially, it was hurting people and it was potentially putting them in danger and stuff like that. And like, you know, just young and just like not thinking. I was like, at that, I was just like,
it's all in the moment.
Yeah, and it was all heated. And basically, he left, and once again I had another moment. And I remember talking to like one of my mates back in New Zealand, and after that phone call, I hung up, and then I had another choice, you know. And once again, his voice, he was just like, "Look, you can stay and get what you wanted, but you'll lose yourself, or you can come back home and find who you are again."
Yeah,
and
that's awesome, bro.
That was that moment again, like was like a massive turning point, because I don't want to come home. Like after, like everyone thinks that I'm doing like, you know, over there chasing the dream, and which I was, like, you know, I don't want to like pack my bags and be seen like I'm a quitter now, you know what I mean? Like, but I had to put that aside, my pride aside, and be like, what's, you know, like
I need help now.
And come back home and do all that kind of stuff. And so I came back home. I was still kind of in denial, like, flip, I'm back here in New Zealand, this sucks, So I ended up going over to Australia for a season, playing there. But then after the Australian season, I was like, nah, like, look, you gotta make this decision now. Like, you're either all in or you're not. And so I closed that door and moved on, and now we're here basically. But the positive thing about that though is that I won. So before we went over to before I went over to America, I had won a championship in New Zealand, and then the next year we won that year, that season in San Fran, national championship, and then I won that championship in Australia. So I was winning. You know, I was in championship teams and stuff like that, and I was like, well, isn't that like what you want? And obviously, you know, like certain colleges were looking at you, you know, and all that kind of stuff, going to like D2 or D1, whatever. But I remember when we won nationals in America, and I was like, man, this is my dream. Like, you know, I'm here, but why don't I feel
satisfied?
Why am I not fulfilled? Like this is exactly what I dreamt of. And I remember we won, right? And I see everyone celebrating and going to their families. And I looked around, and
got no one there.
There was no one there. Like everyone that I did it for wasn't in sight. You know, and there was like maybe 3 of us who went back to the locker room and just sat there. And I was like, we're champions, and I was just like, what the heck is this?
But
and it just made me like realize, like, I don't know, just there's more important stuff than just
winning.
What I want.
You
know what I mean? This is what I thought I wanted. You know, I want to win championships and all this kind of stuff. And then like I guess Australia kind of like confirmed that, like, I won again. And I was like, well,
there's nothing
there.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think this leads, because this is something I wanted to ask you about, because of your faith, and I feel you have a particular mindset where I could be wrong, but people that have faith like how you do are very unselfish, because you do things for other people. Is that would you say that's how you think, how your mindset is? Because at the moment you just said, I wanted to do this for me. I think I think so if I go a little bit deeper in my faith, in terms of
I guess I'll try and make this short, but basically like Jesus Christ. And the reason why it's not that I hesitate because I don't believe, it's just because the way some Christians, or the way that some believers use it is not the way that it's, you know,
It's
like
supposed to be.
some okay, this is my little thing on the Bible, right?
Yeah.
People use the Bible, some people use the Bible to actually be like, read the Bible and then
Put it on
on someone else. Like, oh, well, you're not doing this. But really, when you study the Word and stuff like that, it's about you. It's a confronting Bible.
Yep.
If you go into study and stuff like that, it's everything that you need to work on. It's got nothing to do with
Judging others.
and all that kind of stuff. And so in terms of that, like for me personally, when I think about, I remember when I come back home and I was in a church service and it was Easter, and right, Easter story, you know, Jesus died on the cross and all that kind of stuff. For me, I had a moment where like I watched this video, and I guess you got to have a certain perspective about it, but just staying on the surface level, like I saw they say God Himself come down to humanity and into human form. He didn't have to. He humbled Himself, came down, and took on the pain and the hurt of the world, went through the most like horrific death or whatever you could possibly go in that day. And for me, and He was thinking about us. He was thinking about me. He was thinking about you. And that selfless act, you can go deep and deep and all that kind of stuff. But that selfless act to me was like, well, when we talk about teams and like we talk about who you want on your back, you know, who do you want to be, who do you want besides you, knowing that they're going to have your back no matter what?
Handy.
You know what I mean? And I looked at that and I was like, that's the kind of, I say person, but that's the kind of man or God or whatever that I want to be walking with, knowing that he died for me, and that He made that selfless act for me. And therefore, like, knowing that you have someone like that beside you, you can't, you'll never be left alone in some way. But that was a selfless act. And in terms of us to represent Him, you have to be selfless in some way. You know what I mean? And in a way, and like you have, in some way, like, you know, they say you have to be selfish and all that kind of stuff, you know, to look after yourself, which is true. You know what I mean? Because obviously you have to look after yourself in order to help others, or like, you know, you got to like fill your cup and all that kind of stuff. But in the intention, so like, for example, finding your gift to give it away, you know what I mean? And finding your purpose and the purpose that He has for your life, because at the end of the day, your purpose isn't about you. You know, your purpose or the purpose that He has for you is to help others and for Him and for them to know the love of God. And I know this is like quite deep, but
this is me.
That's the question.
But that answers your question in terms of, for me personally, I'm not perfect, bro. Like, trust me. Like, and like I have like a list of faults. You know, I've
I definitely agree with you on that mentality, though, like how He sacrificed. And I take that mentality into the gym sometimes. You know, when you're in deep in a workout and you're in that pain, you're in that hole. In my mind, I always say to the person next to me, I'll see you on the other side, because I know we're about to go into battle now. But I know we're going to get out of it. It's only 6 minutes of pain. And then coming out of it, you'll see me, I'm always on a high, because I'm just like, yes, we did it again. Like,
she's like the biggest motivator.
You know what I mean? Like, but
I've
that's
seen it
my
at competition.
mindset.
Trust me.
That's my
I've seen
mindset.
it. I think I first seen you at
D7?
No, East Tamaki. Joris, you're on the bike? Were you?
Nah.
No, that wasn't
Who was
you.
that?
Oh, shucks.
Oops. The 808 secret weapon.
No,
That's
but
Movo.
But
I've always seen that in you particular, where like your energy and stuff like that has, you know.
Because that's just my outlook on it, because we are doing hard stuff, and it's so easy. Because I was a person that would stop running because I'm tired, but now I've changed the mentality of like, hang on a minute, my mate's going to go in deep,
100%.
so I've got to go in deep, and we're going to get on it on the other side, and that's the best part.
And I think that as well, as a coach, when I went in, we were coaching, Luke and I and Antti and Kim, we were coaching our teams, like the importance of like, cool, like I have a weakness, right? But the importance of making sure that your partner knows that you're going to be there for him. Not being like, oh, you got to carry me on this. Like that kind of attitude, you don't want to go into that. You know, it was like, you know what, I'm going to hold myself as much as I can, and I'm going to do what I can there, and I know my teammates are going to do the same. If you go into a comp as a team and be like, man, bro, sorry, bro, but you have to carry me on this, you go carry me. Like, it's already, I don't know, it's not very a healthy way to approach a team competition. Like, you should be there to carry your team, and your team will be there to carry you, And I guess going into like my life and stuff, like as I continue to live, because I'm at 25, so like, and I'm not even like anywhere near where I want to be or where I should be or whatever. But as I continue life, I understand that I'm walking with someone who will always be there for me. That's the difference.
Same mentality.
Same mentality, but the difference is I'm not alone. And that's why people, when they ask about my injury or how you deal with it, like, oh, how are you doing mentally and stuff like that, like, I'm fine. I've been through this alone, so I know what it feels like to be alone in terms of trying to suck it up and be like, I've done my knee. Like, nah, I'll come back. And it's just like, I'm just like advising myself. But in these, like in the last like year or two, I haven't been walking alone again. Like, and he's been there, and when I needed his wisdom, it was there, and all that kind of stuff. So I believe that he will show you who he is in the way that he needs to show you. So like, however that is, only you, and that's between you and him. Not
That's
for
awesome,
me.
bro.
So when you had like, just quickly, sorry, when you guys had, so when you did your dancing and then that didn't quite work out for you, you went over, did the NFL thing, that didn't quite work out.
I also came back, started a clothing line, didn't work out.
Yeah. So like you've had these sort of ups and downs and whatnot. Like, is your faith the sort of thing that just keeps you going, keeps you driving to like try on the next thing? Do you know what I mean? Like,
100%.
Yeah.
100%. If I said that or something else, I'd be lying.
Yeah.
Just as I look back and as I continue to move on and try new things and probably fail and all that kind of stuff, I look back at how faithful he's been to me in terms of my own journey and how he's allowed me just to go and do these stuff, like, and we should be able to go and just explore and stuff like that. That's the freedom of choice, that's the beautiful gift that he's given us, is just choice, and we can choose to follow him or not. He's not going to love you any different, you know what I mean? So yeah, 100%. It is my faith that keeps me going. And I think it's also the thing that's kept my character consistent in some way.
That's cool.
I mean, my family and the ones close to my heart know that, like, my inconsistency, but the consistency on like a surface and how I hold myself and stuff like that or whatever, is because of my faith. You know what I mean? And yeah, if that
that is awesome.
That is feels.
DP.
Yeah.
That's good.
Honestly, I have, like, in my 20s, like, I remember having a moment, another moment, all these moments, where I was just like, man, what have I, like, achieved in all seriousness? Like, man, like, what have I achieved? And like, I have I know that I'm the type of person that go all in, but yet, like, I've always seemed to fall in short. And like, when I like list all the stuff, like dancing, didn't make it to a world stage, future fit, like business, like, didn't end up doing, like, I did well, but I ended up like not
leaving it.
Leaving it.
For another
football,
one.
like, didn't quite make it. Clothing line didn't quite make it, and it's like this going into CrossFit now. It's like, man, do I even try? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because it's like, is this just going to be another life lesson?
Is it? Yeah, but that's how I wouldn't say it's failure. It's that. It's character building. It's life
growing
lessons.
as a person, right?
Yeah. And so, like, when you, like, that's for me. I want to now indulge in anything that makes me feel uncomfortable, because that's where I'm going to get the lessons. I've now understood. Now I'm 30. I've understood that to climb the mountain.
Amazing for 30.
Thank you.
I'm like 22 or something.
But I've just understood now that the climb up to the top of the hill is, I have to enjoy the climb up, because 100%. The view is going to be amazing, and I can, like, reflect on your win at the NFL win. You'll sit in the locker room and you're like, is this it? And that's how you feel when you get to the top, and the view's amazing, but it only lasts like, so in my input on that is the climb up is where all the lessons are. That's where you fail, but you don't fail. It's learning the understandings of yourself.
100%.
And it's amazing that you've been on this journey and you're only 25. You know,
you
like,
got a lot to go, bro.
Yeah, bro.
You've already gained so much experience for, imagine going back to Calston now and being like, look what you can do, not just play rugby or not just dance, or know what I mean?
That's a perfect, like, way to start talking about, like, CrossFit. Like, I actually do believe that, like, it's a sport that is up and coming, and it's a sport that you don't hurt people, I guess. You know, like the only way you get hurt is obviously training and stuff. And obviously not the right coaching, ego lifting, whatever. But like looking at the CrossFit Games and stuff like that. There's not many brown people there. You know what I mean? There's not many Islanders.
We need to get some color
in there. Maldives. You know what I mean? Like all that. So for me, I guess for my own nationality and stuff, I want to be a part of breaking that mold, I guess. Of it's just for these kind of people, where it's from or whatever. Like we have to be able to be like, okay, we can see our issues, we can see how things work against us. Now what? You know what I mean? And what is our reaction to that's all right. I think CrossFit is effective in terms of for us. I think the big thing for the arena is our community. And I think in order to have a strong community as well, you have to have a strong foundation and values and all that kind of stuff as a gym, right? And then build it from there. Yeah. But as a community is one of our key words or whatever that we want to think. But in terms of how CrossFit I think it definitely is making a difference, 100%. People are paying $100 or something for comps. You know what I mean? But to go and jump on a field in a hole of pain and stuff. You know what I mean? It's quite weird, but it's because you're bringing people together. You know what I mean? And even though you're representing your own gyms, like ourselves, we're from different gyms, but we're being able to connect through CrossFit, and it can only grow from there. So I do believe that CrossFit is truly effective. It's not necessarily it's more than just training. And it's more than just the programming. But in terms of programming, in terms of training and stuff, I do believe that longevity and health, it does with the right training and with the right coaching and stuff like that. Obviously, you might get a bad coach or whatever, but I feel like it targets the whole package. If you know what I mean, of health, mobility and all that kind of stuff. And the thing is, at the same time, it's up to that individual to actually go in there and do what the coach says, do the mobility, do the stretching, do the cardio, do the lifting, not just lift, bodybuilding, I did bodybuilding for a bit, and it was just lifting weights and stuff like that, but mobility, fitness and stuff was not necessarily the best.
Hi, bro. Well,
sweet, we got the challenge.
What one?
We had to cut it there.
Oh,
we just ran out of time. We got to get you on the game, bro.
Gosh, they went for
Anyway, we got a challenge. Okay. So the challenge up here is to hold a kettlebell out in front for as long as you can.
Gosh,
I know you're injured. Okay. So I wonder if there's someone here who hasn't done it already.
You.
Oh.
I think Mo should do this. I think your name's not up on there.
I look up and you
can't do it.
I'm Levi.
Mo, you can beat 26 seconds, I'm sure.
Am I doing the challenge?
Yeah, you're up there, Mo.
Okay. So
I would choose you too, Mo.
In place of Houston. Right, you hold on to that.
Are you ready, Mo?
Who's doing the quick fire?
Have you got some down? You're usually the quick fire girl.
Well, we'll use.
We'll come up with something.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right, Mo, please, 26 seconds, okay? I remember when me and you were at Tutango.
He'll just tell us a story.
And Yanni, you're gonna hold.
Yeah.
And it was a rope climbs. And I remember you and Kendall had finished.
Yeah.
And I had I just burnt out. And I remember you were standing there, and I felt I was gosh, I'm
nice,
burnt
bro.
out. And I see your time, so I was I didn't beat you in that one, but hopefully
We'll beat you hard. All right, and
I'll let
I'll take it.
All right, hold on. Good stuff.
Look, the breathing
going.
I love it. Look at that.
Hold on to it.
Look at that. Holding
Hold
on.
on.
Don't get too much lean back, Mo.
Oh, that's perfect form. You might even beat Levi.
43.
Beautiful.
43, Mo. Well done.
All right, wrapping
Good
up.
work.
So,
So what's next for you?
So rehab, obviously. But obviously, with me being out from being an athlete and stuff like that, I can move into actually being a quality coach and stuff like that. So that's all that. And then 2021 season, we'll be back on the floor.
Awesome.
Ideally.
Good stuff, bro.
That's what we want to hear, bro.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on the show, bro.
No worries.
It was good to have a chat and a good good insight into your mindset. Right? Honestly, it was real deep and that was real good. So let's go for. Hang on. So where can people find you?
So Instagram, Houston Awema. That's probably the best place to find. And I coach out of the arena, New Lynn, 44A Portage Road. So, but yeah,
yeah, a little
the
plug.
exact address. But yeah, obviously, if you want to train out those ways out west, search us up. We'll welcome you.
Yeah.
All right.
Sweet. Yeah,
Thank you
find
very
us
much,
guys.
bro. So if you want to listen to this show, this will be up on Spotify by Sunday, episode 5 with Houston. If you want to watch the show again, go onto our Facebook page, the RX Debrief. The next week's guest is, am I allowed to say?
Yes.
Callum from Renegade Performance.
Nice.
So that's next week's guest. So get excited for that team. And I think that's us, eh?
Yeah,
That is us. We actually, producers didn't bring our drinks in this week, so we'll just have to do it with our bottles.
Yeah.
Ran out of money.
Yeah.
Useless. Useless.
Someone sponsor
I'll go
us.
like this.
Radio.
All right, in the middle.
RX Debrief.
Yeah.
RX Debrief out.
Good stuff.
Wow.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Oh,
Man, that was awesome.